Yippee. Okay. All right. It's fine. Sorry about that. I think we're good. Good. All right. Here we are. Um, I made another layer. I'm gonna do today's layer on its own thing. We'll see how it goes. We're gonna continue the hands. I don't know if we'll do all of them. Um, I feel like it's not going that well though, so we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, where the fuck I am? Do 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 do. Um, actually, okay. Let's draw some hand. Let's get a little hand job going. Women love those. So I'm told. Do, 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 do. Okay. It is once again extremely hot in here, and I am sorry that I'm going to complain, but it's so fucking hot. This ain't working. What if I just get rid of this entirely? We start here instead. No. We start here. Here. Why is this so difficult? I feel like this should be the opposite, right? This should be like out, and this should just kind of be straight. Do I not know what a finger looks like? This is what you get for looking at someone else's practice and thinking, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll just generally use theirs. Turns out they also don't know what they're doing. They do. They probably do, but it's just that they probably did this really quickly, and this is going to take me like 3 months to get through. Man, my thumb don't look like that, do it? Shit, that thing's fucked up. Okay. I don't like it. What if I just draw amputees? Then we don't have. Wait, what? What is this even looking at? Hello? Is the camera dead? Excuse me, buddy. My eyes are up here. Sorry about that. I don't know what it was tracking. It was looking that way, and there's nothing over there. Well, there's a ceiling fan, but I don't know why it would be looking at the ceiling fan. Okay. I don't feel like my fingers look like this, to be honest with you. Am I fucked up? What is this? What am I drawing? Anybody ever see a fucking hand look like this? It's just not right. The hell is bro cooking up here? It's so bad. That is not a thumb. What if we just deal with this later? What do we think? Okay. I think I'm just gonna delete this all. I'm just gonna start over. I just I don't like it. I think my big problem is I don't know where to start. No matter where I start, it feels like the proportions just end up so far off, I can't stand it. Why did they do this? I don't understand. Like they obviously, well, maybe they don't know something I don't. I don't know, but like it just looks so weird. I don't feel like my hand looks like this. Is my hand weird? I feel like I'm drawing a fucking popsicle. Like what is this? What is that? That's supposed to be like this? What? Whose hand are they drawing? All right, fuck it. We're just gonna send it. We're gonna stop questioning it. We're gonna send it. If it looks stupid, it looks stupid. Fuck it. Right? Oh, God, it's so bad. I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay. I think the problem is I see their end result and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty close to a hand. And I'm not considering that this really probably isn't that good. I mean, it's better than anything I'll ever be able to do. But it's not like something I should be looking up to, if that makes sense. Like, I probably shouldn't be trying to learn from this. I think that's it. No offense to the person who made this, but it's like I said, I think they are claiming they did it in 30 seconds, which is insane. Maybe it's 30 seconds per thing, because doing this whole thing in 30 seconds is, quite frankly, not believable to me. Okay, so now if I come out on that, maybe? No. My finger doesn't do this. What is wrong with your hand, bro? Okay. Who? So we push that back. this is. What the fuck, dude? You're who? This is not the natural. Like, if you're doing this, it's this. What? Why would you be doing like this? What is happening? Dude, I don't know what's going on, man. Might have to skip this one. This is like the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Hey, if you're ever doing this shape with your hand, do yourself a favor and don't fucking do this. All right? Trust me, your hand will thank me. Okay? I hate this. We're drawing people without hands from now on. I'm convinced that those people who draw furry stuff just don't want to draw hands. I think that's all it is. They made this bullshit up because they just didn't want to draw hands. There's not some secret community otherwise. They just didn't want to draw fucking hands. That's it. It's fake. It's not real. None of it's real. None of them are real. It's just a lie that they tell you so that they don't have to draw hands. So used to picking that other one. What is the deal here? Why did I just try to wipe that away? Don't even think this is looking good. I mean, it was never really going to, but whatever. Why does it look like a fucking carrot? Alright. Hit him with the old shrinko dicko, you know what I mean? I am once again asking you not to do this with your hand. It's not right. It's not comfortable. You're gonna hurt yourself. We're gonna do our best to match that. So, it's with this hand. Oh. So that one's straight. This one's straight. And then this one's like, that's the best you're gonna get, and that puts an enormous strain, like right here on on your wrist, like that. It's so uncomfortable. You're not holding that. Last time I fucking draw one of these, swear to God. You know what? Let's just move on. This one's not working. And I'm just getting mad. So let's just fucking move on. Let's do the next one. We're gonna go down. See, this one makes sense. Whether or not I can do it is another thing, but at least this one makes sense. Okay. Right. Okay. Wrong way. Right. We can fix that up later. What a weird way to draw this. See it a lot though. My wrist is stiff from trying to do that stupid fucking thing. That's what I get. This is why you should never try to do something that you know is stupid and doesn't make sense. Just don't. This is not right, but we're gonna deal with it in a second. What is that? What is going on here? Okay. So now we have to fix whatever's going on basically all up here. Okay, first things first. Let's do that. Then let's grab this. We're gonna pull this away. You know, I wonder if part of it is that I just don't really feel like their proportions are actually that good. Not that they're like the worst thing I've ever seen or something, but they feel like I think I said this last time. What is it? Shoujo hands. Like everything feels weirdly stretched and like slimmed, and it just doesn't look like a real hand. It looks like worms attached to like an apple, you know? It's just got that shoujo vibe. Like little tendrils instead of real fucking pieces of ligament. It's not really their fault or anything. That's just the way shoujo looks, and that's just the style that they seem to like. And it's not like they're alone in it. So it's not like it's bad, I guess. Like did I say I feel like I said maybe it was bad. I said it was off, right? I don't know. It's just not it's not what I feel like I probably should be learning. So it's like really hard to gauge what I should be doing here because there's no I think there are rules, but they're like not real rules. They're not human rules. And so trying to do what they've got going on doesn't really work because it's not going to happen unless you know the exact rules that they followed, and it's probably not very like accurate, I guess is how I'll put it. I think what I'm doing here is I'm combining their rules with mine. So for me, I'm trying my best to make it more realistic. But at the same time, I don't have like a reference other than my own hand, and I don't really know how to pose it properly. So all of my like references them, and they're not good for that. You know what I mean? I know I'm not doing this perfectly well or anything, but this one is obviously the best so far in terms of like what we're doing. And that's probably because this is like something a hand could easily do and isn't just some sort of weird thing. I know my proportions are off, but that's because I just don't know what I'm doing. Right? That doesn't really have anything to do with whatever the fuck's going on over here. Jesus Christ. Okay. Huh? Did I not just press this? This looks so fucked up. It's crazy. Okay. That's why this is fucking. Oh, this is fucking me up so bad. I've just realized. Okay, okay. I kept thinking like, wait, why is the middle finger next to the pinky, and why is this finger so long? And oh my god. Okay, that's gonna help so much. That's gonna help so fucking much. Oh my god. Christ. I'm like sitting at it trying to copy it. This is what I was talking about. I wasn't like thinking of a real reference. I think what they did was they drew a hand and they started here and then drew here and then drew here and then they're like, okay, let's draw this now. And so instead of drawing the pinky and then erasing this and then starting over, what they did was they just went over here and drew this on top of this. So this finger is bigger than their middle finger, and it really throws off the proportion. And that's what I just copied. And that's why I'm sitting here thinking, this looks fucking dumb. Why doesn't this work? And I'm trying to adjust the size of everything. It's because what should be the biggest finger is actually the smallest finger. Sorry, I don't think we muted for all that. It didn't work the first time. Jesus. This should hopefully solve our problem. Okay. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Get it. Get. I can't like look at it from the right angle. Damn it. Right. Okay. So now let's clean this up a bit since we have more of a visual representation than before. Here's what we'll do. We'll try and match how they had it without it making no fucking sense at all. Look, this isn't gonna be good, but it's like, it's already looking better somehow than what it did. So, I just don't really have the skill to do it, but we're trying, man. Huh? What are they doing here again? Doing this. Why are they doing that? I don't know if I get this. I don't know if I understand what they were doing. What is this? I don't think this is anything. I don't think the hand does that. What is... There's no line there. There's no... Maybe this? Is that what they're trying to do? Is that it? Let's do this instead. There you go. There you go. I swear to God, some sometimes I feel like people don't have hands. Like what look, their lines are cleaner than mine will ever be. They're more successful than I'll ever be. I don't understand how you drew what you drew unless I try to decipher it as you drew a hand doing something a certain way. So you started drawing this, like I said, and instead of drawing the pinky and then coming in, erasing that and doing that, you just didn't draw the pinky and then drew another one of these, right? And if I look at it that way, that makes sense. But I don't know that the rest of the hand makes sense. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. I don't. This doesn't work. Doing this doesn't make any sense unless you're maybe looking at it from that angle. But like, there's no way you can do it so that you lose or you don't lose the line of sight here. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. But it really like begs the question for me. Like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll do it. We'll do what they did. But like I was saying, it begs the question. Like, what are you doing? Like, I know I'm not good, but like, I'm trying. And I can see that they have a lot of like good stuff here, or at least to me, right? It like they're clean lines. That's well done. What's here, but I don't understand why they made certain choices that just aren't real. So we're copying them. Well, not quite, but we're trying to copy them right now. What? What is this? What is this? Like, that's not here. That's not on my hand. Am I tripping? My hand doesn't look like that. I'm sorry, my hand doesn't look like that. I can't do it. I can't commit to that. I don't know, I can maybe see like this and then like that. It's like that looks weird. Like, cuz I can see this if you have your hand like really like that, right? I have that. And I feel like they're trying to draw this, but like it just doesn't really work because you can't draw that without the other lines. So what we would need is this, and then this, and then that, and then you can. This needs to be shadow, is what it is. This needs to be like shading to show like the depth. It doesn't really work like this. That doesn't make any sense. For me, like visually, I can't get that to work. Like at a glance, it works for what they did, but like when you break it down the way you have to try and copy it, it just doesn't add up. In the same way that for some reason this finger ends up much longer on theirs than their middle finger, which I'm sure there are people out there like that. I'm fair, you know, I got to look this up. I'm fairly confident that like 99.9% of human beings have their middle finger longer. I would be surprised if it didn't start with a 99, really. All right, so I'm going to type. I'm going to Google the question, and so far I'm at how many people have longer ring, and before that, I guess people are asking an index, which I recall being like a common thing to talk about. So let's look at that first. Roughly twice as many men show the pattern of having a longer ring finger than index. Okay, that's fine. Okay, there's something about digit ratio. Uh-huh. Let's look up middle. Practically zero. Typical people have a ring finger that is longer than their middle. Wait, this is AI. Hold on. This is AI. Get out of here. Um, Gender determination. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, I guess I'm gonna look at the digit ratio Wikipedia page. Okay, so as far as I can tell, there isn't a lot of information about this. The only thing I can find is for some reason AI knows what I'm talking about, and it gives me so this is Google AI, and it gives me the answer. Practically zero typical people have a ring finger that is longer than their middle finger. In normal human anatomy, the middle finger is always the longest digit on the hand. And then there's like a note, you might be thinking of the index finger, which is frequently shorter, blah, 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 blah. And then they quote the science journal, um, which obviously I didn't mean because I just looked that up. So it's so impossibly uncommon to have a middle finger that would be longer or shorter than a ring finger that it's difficult to Google. That I'm not saying it's not possible that this person could in fact have that, right? And they're using their own hand for reference. But I'm saying that it's so unlikely that it's not even a consideration when you Google it. Like, not even AI is like, what the fuck are you, you know? AI is confused, and AI is always confused, but it's like not even, you know? It's not even questioning my question. Instead, it's like, you're a fucking idiot. You meant to search for this, clearly. Like, what are you talking about? Humans just don't have that. You should know you're a human, jackass. So I'm gonna say definitively that 99.99999999999 infinitely with the what is that line called over the top? Isn't that a thing? Um, but pretty much every human in the world that's ever existed has probably always had a longer middle finger. Um, what is the name of the vinculum? Is that it? Bar notation? Fuck is a vinculum, bro? I ain't saying that shit. So I think this actually means that it's a repeating decimal, right? I'm not reading all that. My understanding was it's a repeating decimal, and you would just put the bar over to say like, okay, it's all fucking like nines from here, bro. Like just cut it here. You don't need the rest. um, but it's basically like I would be surprised if there's even 5 people in the world that have it. You know what I mean? So my theory is that they drew a hand starting like this, and they were gonna draw this, and then that, and then they're like, well, actually, let's draw that, and they left this like they added this on from here, So they have that and then pointer, and they didn't do a pinky. And so that's why it was probably going to be something like this, right? And then they didn't draw that, and that's why everything looks so weird. Because the reality is, this should be longer, even like as far as you can get it away. There we go. Doing this from my particular angle, this looks the same size as this. It doesn't even look bigger. It just looks like it's almost the same. Not really. This does look bigger still. It's just like height-wise, it kind of looks maybe not really. So to me, it just doesn't add up. Hold on. Okay. I can sort of almost see what they were going for with this now. Very uncomfortable to do that. I'm guessing they were in a mirror and they did this. And they took a picture, and what happens is this is hidden behind that, and so they tried to draw this, right? And since they changed it, maybe they ended up doing this. I don't know. They probably also had one of these and they just combined them, or however they ended up starting it, messed it up with that middle finger thing. But the angle they took it at isn't the angle they drew it at, because they're probably like me, and it's difficult to copy an angle exactly. I'll give them that. Um, but it just doesn't really work for me visually, mentally. Physically, it's obviously quite wrong. Uh, it's something they should have used shading for. Obviously, they didn't use shading, and they allegedly did this in 30 seconds, so it's fine. You know, thinking about that mirror thing, that's probably how they did most of these. If they used their hand at all and didn't just like go off of something else like I'm doing, if they used their hand at all, they took these pictures in the mirror, and that's why some of this feels really weird, because it's mirrored, but then it's like not mirrored. And you would think that that makes sense, but it doesn't really make sense sometimes. I saw a picture that somebody tweeted, and it's like this girl in her underwear or whatever. It's not a picture, it's like a drawing, and like that's what most of my feed is now. It's art, because I just like pictures that I'm like, maybe I'll try to draw this at some point, to learn from, because it's cool. uh so I liked it, and then I'm just looking at it and something feels so wrong, and then it's like, what does it say? It's Calvin Klein, I think, repeating on her waistband. And I'm just like, he captioned this mirror image or something like that. And they're like taking a selfie in a mirror, and there's someone like behind them looking at them. Like, that's the gag. And I just think to myself, this feels so weird. And it's because I can read Calvin Klein right way. So basically what they did was they drew it the way they saw it, right? And then afterwards they decided to make the mirror thing, which is fine. That's probably the best way to do it, but they didn't think about the fact that the text would be mirrored, right? So if I drew something that had text on it, based off of a picture in a mirror, I would have to flip the image, right? I would have to mirror the image that I have as a reference in order to understand it exactly as it actually should be. And it's going to look weird as hell to me, because it's actually sort of flipped. Because, like, you look in a mirror and you expect to see what should come out of a mirror. That's your mirror image. But if you don't flip it, right, text and certain things will be backwards. So, like, let's say it's a color picture, and you have heterochromia. You have two different eye colors. Um, one of them's brown, one of them's blue. in the mirror, it'll be backwards, right? If you draw it, it'll be backwards. So you'll have to flip the whole image in order to get what you would actually see as you, right? Because if you have the mirror image, you take a picture of that, you turn around, it's going to be backwards. Sorry, I hit the mic. I hit the mic. Am I tripping? That's correct, yes? So, right side here, left side of you if you turn around, right? But the mirror will capture your right side. So if you turn around, the mirror has your right side, but now you've turned around and that's your left side. And that's not the same as your right side. Like, it's pretty close probably, but it's not the same. So if you're drawing, say, someone with two different color eyes, and it's like from a selfie in a mirror, you have to consider that it's a selfie in a mirror if you're not drawing the rest of the mirror. Or if you are going to draw it as a mirror, you have to consider, let's say you have a regular old picture of them and you're drawing them in the mirror, you have to consider the fact that they're actually going to be mirrored. Otherwise, it's going to be confusing. If the text is the right way, it's weird. Let me see if I can show something. I don't know if this has a setting. Sorry, I'm getting out of it. We're losing our shit. Does Warudo have a mirror? Can I do that? I don't know if I can do this. Character. Tweaking, it just can't capture my hands because there's an object in front of me. I mean, I am tweaking, but like I'm not tweaking. All right, that's not gonna happen. Can I mirror? Okay, so it's that one. Can I mirror this? What the fuck is a Luma like, bro? What are you talking about? If I unlock this. Okay. Is this right? There we go. Did that do it? So now I've been mirrored. What does my shirt say? All right, let's flip it back. I'm fairly certain that's how it's gonna work. Okay, there we go. I actually have a little mirror here. I'm not gonna show it though, but I could easily just test this for myself by holding up this text thing here, and yes, it's all backwards. No, I'm not using it because there's a high risk of my dumbass. All right, we are way out of line here. Let's try and draw this. What the fuck am I looking at, bro? Oh my god. All right. We're changing how this one goes. We're acknowledging it's not right from the start, okay? Hit him with that. Hit him with that. Hit him with that. Definitely don't want it to be as long as there's that. 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 And then that. And then that. And that. And then that. And then we'll just like call it on that. If I do like that, and then like maybe more like that. God, this is so hard to look at, bro. This looks like one of those fucking like leggy creatures from the forest. This is so fucking off, it's insane. What am I looking at? Let's get rid of this. Let's start over, shall we? I might just skip this, to be honest with you. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna take the watch off for this. I don't know if I can stretch my tendons in my hand with enough force with a strap only. Now, that's how much we're gonna have to fuck with this. All right. So they're almost touching fingers. It's going like this. They have a really, really long middle finger or a pointer finger. It's definitely longer than their middle finger. We're gonna ignore that right now. I gotta stand for this. So they're doing this, that, and then their pinky is like, I can't do it. That's as close as we're gonna get, and that is not anywhere like that. Okay, so they're doing this. This is the best you're gonna get, because there's just no real way. There we go. So they're doing that. I don't know what this is, but they also have like an extra inch here, and then like this is kind of more coming out of here. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna draw this. I'm gonna draw something. Let's put our watch on. Let's before I forget it, and then what'll happen is I'll forget to put it back on, and then like later in the day I'm gonna be like, wait, where's my watch? And I'm gonna like dig through the trash can thinking I threw trash away, and I'm like, where is it? Where is it? And it's just gonna be sitting here. Okay. We're drawing something. Trust me. We're drawing exactly what this person drew. Nothing more. Nothing less. Exact. Okay? This is how I can see this image because none of it really makes sense. I want that to I want you to understand why I'm drawing this and why it's kind of going pretty quick. Even though it's like not really good, I'm just kind of trying to get it down, to be honest. But I'm drawing exactly how this comes across to me. Exactly. This is actually the closest I think I followed one of them. I'm a little far off here. Theirs are closer together, but that's fine. It's still getting the point across, right? All right, here's what I'm going to say. Proportions are a little off. I'm a little short on this finger, a little short here. Um, but this is basically what we're looking at. I can maybe fix this up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Do you see it? Is it coming through yet? All right. This is me intentionally not changing anything, so just as close as I could get as someone with not a lot of skill. So that's why like these are super wobbly, kind of thick, kind of fat in certain areas, kind of thin in others. Right? Inconsistency is on me. Theirs is pretty consistent. Um, so this is exactly what they drew otherwise. To me, this looks like a fucking like not a human, but like a being, right? Here's like a boxy head. Here are the shoulders. Here's the arm, like leaning back. Bro's walking forward. Here are his legs, right? This is his booty cheek. He's all cheeked up. What this is I don't know. His sheath, maybe. I'm not sure. Here's his other arm. Maybe this is like a holster for a gun. Maybe he's a lefty. I don't know. But that's what I see here because this looks so far removed from a fucking hand to me. That's what I see. Because it just doesn't physically fucking make sense. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. It doesn't physically make sense to me. Like the next one, that's a hand, man. That's a good hand. I think. I don't know. I think it is. It looks like a good hand. This thing, this is like a fucking box-headed little demon dude. I don't know. It's like this side character in an adventure anime with like I said a box head. He's very square. He's very big and buff, and he's the guy in like episode 11, and he's gonna be like, I got this. And he's gonna tell the main character to go ahead, and he's gonna take on like the giant dragon creature that nobody else could, and he's gonna beat it fucking ass. Right, that's what we're looking at there, and this is him. This is you looking at him walking away dramatically. He's walking right into the danger. He's ready. That's what that is. That's not a fucking hand, bro. That's not a hand. I drew this very, very close. Like, there's maybe more separation here than there. But honestly, that makes it look more like a hand than that. Because that makes it look like... This makes it look like separated fingers, like there's some space. Whereas theirs looks like they're, like, feet in motion. Like, he's doing that weird, like, almost Naruto ninja run. And he's, like, mid-step. But that's what I see. That's what I see when I look at that, and I had to get it down on paper too. Well, this isn't paper, but I had to get it. I had to draw it. I had to do it. I'm not going back and doing this for real. By the way, this is what you get. You get fucking blockhead. Hold on, I'm gonna tilt him a little more. I so fucking hit. Okay, hold on. This is like, I want him tilted for peak drama. There we go. What a guy. He's gonna save us. He's gonna sacrifice himself so we can go on and face the main demon dude. It's gonna be great. Alright, this looks like a Disney hand almost. I feel like there's a huge delay. Hold on. There's like a delay of the little dot when I move my thing. I don't like that. Wait, did my... Huh? Hold on, did it... Are we still live? We good? Doesn't say I dropped... Okay, for some reason. Oh, the camera stopped going too. Huh. Okay. Alright, 1 second. That's weird. Doesn't say I dropped any frames, but the stream playback stopped. And then I think like all USB things just kind of unplugged and replugged in. So this should allow us to resync. Am I being too rude? Look, like I said, their lines are nice and clean compared to mine. They they sort of get their point across for the most part. It's just that I happen to not be compatible with shojo, I guess, the shojo style. I think that's what this is. And what can you expect if I'm assuming each individual hand was drawn in 30 seconds? Like, come on, that's really good for 30 seconds. I'm not trying to be rude. I genuinely think, like, right? I obviously thought it was good to start with because I wanted to learn from it. It's just me having commentary on things that I feel like don't work for how I would like to draw things. That doesn't make what they drew bad. That doesn't, mean they have to change anything. Just doesn't make sense to me. Right? I mean, look at yeah, Picasso. Who knows, man? You don't have to draw according to what other people want or think work. You know? That's why we change things when we change things. And you can too. I think they did this backwards. I think they drew this, and then they decided not to do this, and then they changed the fingertip here and here, and then drew these on when they felt like this didn't work, and then they drew this stuff when they felt like this didn't work. And the reason I think that is because they have this here, which is very reminiscent of what they did over there. Hold on, let me draw it. So they have this. They have like that palm thing, palm swell, I guess I'll call it, where I think they're drawing. Well, I think what they're drawing is this, but what they should be drawing is this, right? So it shouldn't really come up like that. So I'm gonna not do what they did because to me it doesn't really add up. They did a really good job with the fingers. To me, as someone who has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Yeah, this wrist looks like it's completely backwards. It's kind of funny. All right, we're gonna just make up our own wrist. I would say this should be more like that. So like I said, theirs is completely backwards. I can just look at my own fucking hand for this. So they did like this, I think, to do the knuckles, kinda. I don't know that it really works. I almost feel like that's taking away from it for me. Not quite right, but I think this is probably our best one yet. It's also, incidentally, our most R's. Like our most changes to make it feel like us. Maybe bring that out a little bit. Not good, but at least it looks like a hand, right? I think if I had just started with my own hand, I would be better off overall. I'm gonna save this and take a look for a sec. Okay. All right. So, problem I'm feeling from it is it's very like 2D-ish right here and right here, but like in two different ways. And so it really throws off the dimensions. I'm not sure how I would make it feel better. Maybe like in thicken these or something. Maybe just fix the pointer finger, actually. That might just do it. Something here, maybe. I don't know what. I think it's just that there's no shading, realistically. I think shading would help a lot. Oh, brother. Why my head hurting? I don't like this. Try and get one more in at least. Okay. So this one is just a hand doing this. Sort of. There's like a bunch of extra lines in here that I'm not really sure about. We'll solve it. Maybe. Okay. I never know where to start. I feel like I want to start central so I know where to go out from and I have space to grow. If I do that, I feel like things end up too big. If I start on the outside, I feel like I end up kind of shrinking. Okay. Don't like this at all. Feel like I need to cut it a little bit at least. Let's actually just move the whole thing down. I think what I'm gonna do from now on is just draw with as much space as I've got and then shrink it. We're going to, well, hold on. Let's try to make it closer to what they've got going here. Like, realistically, if you're trying to hold something, your pinky comes down further than your ring finger, because all of your power is actually right here. If you want a good grip, this is what you need. You don't even really need your thumbs. Okay, I should probably clean that. I haven't used it in a while. Shouldn't have picked something so big, and while my hand is so sweaty. Actually, hold on. It's going to be weirdly easier with my weaker hand. That's where all your tendon strength is. Obviously, it's easier to lock it in with your thumb. Obviously, the longer finger helps maintain like a steadiness, right? I mean, even without the thumb, you know, people talk about how useful an opposable thumb is. Reality is humans don't really need them, but they do help. Um, all that grip strength is in your bottom two fingers there. But I believe, you know, when you're gripping, what ends up happening something is typically you kind of end up with like that, or like more like that, and again you kind of end up where either your pinky looks identically, you know, most of your fingers I guess are kind of looking identical in length, unless it's fatter at the bottom, right? But if it's the same size, they're all pretty close to the same. But in this, they have it so that this is I would say considerably longer. Man, this stuff always throws me off. So this is like two different angles here. I'm just gonna copy it. I think that's the problem with like these sketches, and why they usually don't really feel like they're working for me, and why I have so much trouble with them. It's because it ends at a sketch, right? And the sketch is just never actually correct. Not because it's not correct, but it's not correct. Right? This makes no fucking sense whatsoever. This finger is way too long. I gotta shorten it. This makes no sense. It's too fat. Okay. Give me a second. I'm trying to make this fucking work. Just draw it from scratch. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. So what doesn't work for me here is in the original as well as in mine. Well, mine's worse somehow. I've managed to do that. As I often do. In the original, these two fingers are doing this. Then this finger is actually more like it. Sorry about my fingernail, by the way. It's close to being. I mean, it's already really annoying. It gets caught on stuff. It's close to being bad because it's. I think it's like got this tiny little part still connected. And once that happens, I think it's going to tear off and it's going to be really fucking bad because it already kind of hurts if I put pressure on it. Anyway, it'll be easier if I show it with this hand. So you have these, right? And these are like that. And this one should really just be like right with it. But for some reason, it's like up here and pointing this way, right? And then this is kind of like pointing that way. So these are like very flat feeling, and then this one feels like it's flat in a different direction, right? So it almost makes it feel like you're like this, but like with this needs to be more angular. So like my fingers need to be folding more like this. This is kind of how their hand is, but like that. I mean, that's not quite it. And obviously, this is apparently something I can physically do. It's just not at all comfortable. So I would never. You know what I mean? It's just like, once again, a matter of this doesn't really quite make sense because it doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense. Because it's, you know, I don't know how else to explain it. It just doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense. It's not like the nice lines. It doesn't make sense. I kind of ignored it for some of it, and you know what? It almost looks like a hand. Well, that's not what I was going for, but thank you. I think what it is this looks like it could be a hand if you just don't look at it. Hmm. Uh-oh. Why does this water taste like that? Let me double check. Mm. Huh? Who the fuck bought this? Jesus Christ, I got a lot to do after this. My God. Okay. I thought so. 1 second. We're dehydrated. Our water tastes too good. I'm gonna have to get a fucking salt lick. Let's try and get one more in. This one's kind of cool. I like this one. Whether or not it's accurate, I don't know. But I like this one, so I can forgive whatever might be wrong with it right now. That's how a lot of people work. Obviously, that's how I work. You know, you forgive the inconsistencies, right? That's how magic works, right? Magic is cool. It's not real though. So like, if you suspend your disbelief for it, which you have to, it's got to be cool. So that's why it has to be visually appealing. It still has to maybe follow some sort of rules. What those rules are, it depends on you and whether or not you can make them work. But that's how magic, you know, in art works. In anything really, in any media, right? It works because you you ignore the fact that you know it's not real because you like it. So it doesn't matter if this is physically potentially not possible. It looks like I'm gripping. I like the lines. It's clean. So who cares? I don't normally do this type of shading, but we'll do it for them. We'll do it for the gram. We don't do anything for the gram. I have but one singular meta related thing. The meta quest, I had to give them one of my emails. It's like an email that I don't even remember using half the time. Um, I fucking hate them. I hate meta and everything to do with it. I cannot wait for the Steam frames to come out so I can tell them to delete my fucking info and get rid of my meta account because that's what I want to do. Even though I barely use the fucking VR because it makes me so goddamn sick. Um, I like Beat Saber a lot. I just can't do like anything else. If I jump in a game, it's fucking over for me. I'm just done. Look, that's not really great or anything, but you see how much smoother it is when the whole fucking thing kind of makes a decent amount of sense. Like, it just fucking works. It just works. Like, obviously, it could be better on my end because I'm just not good at making clean lines, but it just kind of fucking works. I think this one should work too, so I'm gonna try another one. I thought that would be my last one. This one might be harder because it's got extended fingers. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we should have the little thummy wummy right here. Okay. So let's maybe cut this up a little better. Dude, this is not working. I think I messed it up. It was like almost decent before. Now it's like weird. Okay. It's almost something. Like if you just don't look, it's kind of almost something, right? Okay. I'm gonna shrink this. Which time I got? I can maybe. You know what? Hold on. Select, deselect. We're gonna try something real quick. Can I make this cleaner? Let's just see what happens. I don't know what that is. 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 So what if I had that? Okay, that does not look at all cleaner. But I think I'm onto something here. What if we try it with this one? So I feel like it looks better in the combination than it does as like its own thing right now. And I think that's because it's adding a little bit of depth by not being solid. If that, or like by not being like one line. Kind of funny how decent it looks with all the extra lineage, but it doesn't look very good just alone. All right, these look terrible. um, I think we'll maybe. I don't think we're gonna get through all of them tomorrow. I don't really feel like I have time for like a full one today because these look way more complicated for the most part. But what I'm gonna try and do is do all of them tomorrow, and then we're gonna maybe, hopefully, get through some larts of some just to see if we can clean them up and make them look better. And I think next weekend we'll pick an actual image to try and draw. Um, that maybe has a hand in it, but it's not like just a hand, and see what we can pull off. I'm thinking something relatively simple, like maybe just a dude posing or a girl posing or something. Just kind of hanging out, just simple, clean and easy. Maybe, probably not. Um, Hopefully no horns, no magic, no fire. Maybe they're just hands in a fist. I don't know. With something so that I can get some clean lines going and some color going so that it doesn't feel as 2D. That would be nice. Also, probably not going to be shoujo. Let's be honest. I don't like the style. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get off for today. Let me go and save this. I feel like we didn't do very good today. I don't know. I was just not having it. I'm not good. Um, but thank you so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Have a fantastic day, night, afternoon, whatever it is for you. I appreciate you. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one, wherever that is. I also was gonna say I don't like doing these on stream. I feel like I should do them on stream. I feel like I should do them in general. Um, I don't know. I feel like this is less interesting to see than it is like something that's gonna have a nice final image, even if it's not that good. but like something colorful and vibrant. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for being here, and I will hopefully catch you in the next one.